Hey there, Liana. Do you know who I am? Go on and guess.
Who are you?
Didn't you read my last message? I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta guess.
I gave you one chance to tell me who you are, which is more than you deserve. I'm very busy and have much more important things to do than play Guess Who with some random nobody.
Get over yourself. Just guess.
Looks like this is either a stupid prank or you've got the wrong number, so I'm just gonna block your number now.
Wait, don't do that. I've got something to tell you that I know you're gonna want to hear. My name is Alyssa, and I'm your husband's girlfriend.
Huh? By my husband, do you mean Jacob?
Yeah, that's him. Ugh, old women are so boring. I wanted to keep you in the dark for longer just to have a little fun at your expense, but you went and made me spill the beans too early. Boring. Do women just instantly become humorless losers when they turn 30 or something? I hope I never turn 30.
Leaving the dark implications of that aside, would you mind telling me how old you are, Alyssa?
Who, me? I'm 20. I am a college girl in the pinnacle of my youth.
The pinnacle of your youth?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Right. It's just that I've never actually heard anyone in the pinnacle of their youth use the term, the pinnacle of my youth, before.
Yeah, and so what? You got a problem with that?
Problem? Nah, no problem at all. You're free to use whatever phrases you like to describe yourself. That phrase in particular, though, is typically used by women in their 60s looking back at pictures of themselves in their late teens. That, and men in their 60s looking at women in their 20s.
Seriously, what's your problem? I'm not in my 60s. I'm a young, healthy woman, unlike you.
Maybe not, but I think I know exactly why you're using that phrase. Let me guess. Jacob talks about you that way.
Oh, I guess he does. You're right. Isn't he great? He always speaks to me in such poetic ways. It shows how head over heels in love with me he is.
Head over heels? There's another phrase I don't think anyone's used for the last 20 years at least. Why are you letting some geezer have such a strong influence on the way you talk? Your friends your age are gonna laugh at you.
No, they would never laugh at me. Now, would you stop nitpicking every single one of my messages? You are so obnoxious.
Sorry, my bad. You know how women over 20 are. We just can't help but beat on women younger and prettier than us.
Well, at least you're self-conscious about it. And by the way, do not call my Jacob some geezer. He's the love of my life.
Oh, how could I be so insensitive as to call my husband, who you claim to be dating, a geezer? My deepest apologies. So, what do you want? Why did you choose to out yourself as my husband's mistress like this? What's your angle, Alyssa?
You want to know what my angle is? I thought that should be obvious. All I want from you is to admit that you've lost, divorce Jacob, and let me have him.
Wait a minute. Are you going to sit there and tell me that you want to marry that pathetic old geezer?
What did I just tell you about calling him that? I mean, what the hell is even going on with you? What's up with your attitude? Calling your own husband a pathetic old geezer? I mean, you're supposed to be his wife. You are his wife, aren't you? For real?
Yep. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the truth is that I've known that Jacob has been cheating on me for quite some time now. But to think a man his age was fooling around with some little girl who's not even old enough to drink yet? Yuck, it just makes me want to puke. Tell me, how was your trip to Hawaii? Did you make it all right? Have you settled into your hotel yet?
You knew about that? Well, that's weird. He told me you were completely in the dark. But, oh well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Yep, we're in gorgeous Hawaii right now. But you want to know what the best part is? We paid for the whole trip with your credit card, you stupid old hag.
What?
That's right. We're gonna have the trip of a lifetime using your money.
Wait a second. My credit card? You mean you took the credit card out of my wallet and took it with you to Hawaii?
Oh, don't look at me. I didn't do it. It was all Jacob's idea. He's the one who took it while you weren't paying attention. And he is generous enough to let me use it to do all the shopping I want. I might even pick out a wedding dress while I'm here. I have a huge list of things I want to buy, and you're gonna pay for all of it.
Goodness gracious, it seems like you're completely unaware of how credit cards work.
Huh? What are you talking about? I'm 20 years old, not 2. Everyone my age knows how to use credit cards. You take your items to the register, swipe the card in the machine, and poof! Like magic, it's all yours. What else is there to understand? That's literally how credit cards work. Now, if you'll excuse me, Jacob and I just got done with a long plane flight, so we're gonna go ahead and lay down in bed. Don't worry though, we're not sleeping together. As a matter of fact, I think we're gonna stay up all night long.
Have fun, I guess. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Hello, Granny! Oh my god, we are having so much fun with your credit card! How does that make you feel, huh? Hey, are you there? Hello? Seriously, Liana, I know you're super duper jealous of me and your husband, but why won't you ever message me back? You're way too old to be acting like such a little brat, you know that? It's really lame. Oh well, I'll go ahead and write a list of all the things I've bought with your money so far. Here it goes.
Alyssa, was it? Look, I understand that you're very young and inexperienced in the world, but you graduated from high school, didn't you? You're going to college at least, so you can't be telling me you've never heard of time zones.
Huh?
It's the middle of the night over here. If you'd like to gloat over stealing my husband away from me, then could you please look up what the time difference is between here and Hawaii and message me at a more reasonable time?
Oh, shut up, Granny. I'll message you whenever I want to. So anyway, here's the list of all the stuff you've bought for me.
Do you really think you're hurting me at all when you call me old Granny or whatever? I may have just about a decade on you in years, but first of all, that's hardly enough of an age gap for you to be calling me old. And second, I am not now, nor will I ever be ashamed of the fact that I have more experience and knowledge than you.
That sounds exactly like what an old woman would say.
Uh-huh, right. Well then moving on. I've been trying to contact Jacob for the last few days to ask him when he plans on coming back from Hawaii, but he's not responding to my messages. Looks like he hasn't even read them. I assume that means he's blocked my number, so I thought I'd go ahead and confirm it with you. Are you planning on being back within the week? Like Saturday evening or something?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, wait a minute. Is that really all you care about, when he's coming home?
And one more thing, I decided to stay over at my parents' house for the time being.
Okay, and?
I'll leave the divorce agreement I had my lawyer put together on the table. Have Jacob look it over, sign it, and then the two of you are free to do whatever you want.
Really? You mean I'm gonna get to live in your huge mansion?
Mansion?
Finally, I am so happy. You're finally getting out of our way. Me and Jacob can finally be together.
Oh, and one more thing. I'm suing the both of you for your affair, so be prepared for that.
Oh, really? Whatever, that's cool. Go ahead and sue us for however much you want. It won't make any difference to me. I'll just pay whatever the bill comes to with your credit card.
You're gonna try to pay me with my own credit card?
Duh, why wouldn't I? Anyway, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later, Granny. I need to get back to the bedroom. Jacob's waiting for me with a massive plate of room service that you're paying for. I think the fact that I don't have to pay for any of this food makes it taste even better. Bye-bye.
Oh boy. Well, have fun, I guess.
Hey, what gives? I just tried to use your credit card, but it didn't work. What did you do, Liana?
You're just now figuring that out?
I knew it! I knew you were behind this! Tell me what you did!
Yeah, about that. I called the credit card company and had it deactivated days ago.
You what?
I knew just as soon as Jacob left the house to head to the airport that he had taken my credit card with him. He apparently just has too big of an ego to realize that I was aware of every single thing he was doing. It was clear that he was intending to rack up a massive bill at my expense, so I made the call immediately to report it stolen and have it deactivated. I'm just surprised it took you this long to notice.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. I was using it with no problems until a little bit ago. What's going on?
Remember a few days ago when I told you that you don't understand how credit cards work? Unauthorized use of someone else's credit card is illegal, even if the person using it is the owner's family member. That includes spouses, too.
Are you serious?
And the person who uses it is responsible for compensating the owner for every last cent that they spend. Again, it doesn't matter if they're married to the owner.
Oh no, I had no idea.
Come on, girl, really? What did you think a credit card was? Did you think it was like a money tree or something? The money just magically appears out of thin air? Are you really going to college with a brain like that?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it that much.
By the way, does Jacob have my credit card right now?
Yeah, I think he does. He said that we'd be in trouble if we lost it or something, so he's been holding on to it.
I see. Well, it looks to me like he's been paying for everything you've bought over there with his own credit card, not mine.
What?
Let me explain this to you in the simplest terms possible. Jacob took my credit card along with him on the trip because he didn't think I would notice. However, I did notice, and I moved immediately to report it stolen and have it deactivated. This put him in an uncomfortable situation, though. You, his mistress, were overjoyed at the prospect of not only stealing my husband, but also stealing thousands upon thousands of dollars from me. There was no way he could tell you that his master plan failed and that you would no longer be able to live large on his wife's dollar.
So, you mean...
So he lied to you. He told you that all of that money was coming out of my pocket when he was actually just using his own card. He put on a front just to impress you and make you happy. And now that you're about halfway through your trip, you finally exceeded the credit limit on Jacob's own credit card. The credit card company shut it down on their end to keep you from going any further over your limit. That sounds about right to me.
Wait, are you telling me that Jacob has already spent all of his money on our trip to Hawaii? That he's penniless now?
Did you happen to bring any cash with you, Alyssa? You might need it.
No, I didn't bring any money at all. I figured that we were going to be able to use your credit card the whole time. I had no idea this would happen. And I have never had a credit card of my own. My parents have been paying for all my college expenses.
My, oh my, you are in a world of trouble, aren't you?
What am I gonna do now?
Like I know, you two lovebirds are gonna have to figure out a way out of this mess by yourselves.
What? You have to help us.
What is it that you want me to do about your situation, Alyssa? I'm not in Hawaii. It's not like I could just walk over to your hotel and hand you a stack of cash.
You can mail it to us or something.
Uh-oh, looks like my phone is running out of battery.
Hey!
Gotta go charge my phone. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Wait, you can't just leave me like this. Liana, send me some money. I want a new pair of shoes. This cannot be happening. You call this a house? This isn't a house. It would barely even pass for a storage shed.
I'm glad to see you managed to get back home without issue. Tell me, whatever did you do for the last half of your trip without any money? I'm curious how you managed to get by.
Nothing. That's what we did. We didn't set foot outside the hotel room for the rest of the trip. The only reason we didn't starve is because Jacob booked us a meal plan along with the hotel. If that wasn't already paid for, we'd both be nothing but shriveled husks by now.
Oh, that's great. Just goes to show you every cloud has a silver lining.
This isn't a time for glass half full platitudes, Liana. I asked you a question. Now answer me. What the hell is up with your house? I thought you lived in a massive mansion next door.
Huh? Oh, that house. Yeah, that house isn't ours. That's our landlord's house.
Your landlord?
So that's where you were confused. I was wondering what you were talking about when you mentioned living in a huge mansion.
I don't understand.
Our house was actually a guest house that our landlord built on part of his property. He didn't use it very often, though, so he had it renovated slightly into a standalone house and put it up for rental. That's why there's still that fancy stone fence wrapping around it. He only cut out a little bit of it in order to build a driveway. A lot of people who come by make the same mistake you did and end up going to our landlord's house looking for us. The address is almost exactly the same. The house number is just 310 instead of 312.
Oh no. Oh, this can't be happening. So, Jacob's not a rich guy living in a huge mansion?
Nope. He's just a mid-level employee at a mid-sized business, earning an average salary and living in an average-sized house. There's not much about him that isn't average. For the record, I actually make a little bit more money than he does.
No way!
Yes, Way, believe it or not, it's the truth. So I'm sorry to say, but you most likely won't be able to count on him paying your upcoming legal bills for you. You're gonna have to manage somehow on your own. Good luck!
What?
Oh, and one more thing. You don't need to waste your time telling your parents about your situation. I already contacted them for you.
What did you do that for?
I thought they might like to know what their daughter was doing with her time while she was supposed to be attending the college classes they were paying for. They felt so terrible about everything you've done to me, it was almost painful to watch them apologizing so profusely. They told me they weren't going to stand for this behavior from you and that they were going to pull their financial support. Oh, and not just for your college tuition, they said they wouldn't pay your legal bills either.
You mean I'm gonna have to drop out of college?
Well, that's a decision you'll have to make for yourself. Anyway, anything else you'd like to say to me, you can say to my lawyer.
Your lawyer?
I'm no good at explaining things to people with an IQ lower than room temperature. I think the details on what will happen to you next should come directly from a professional. Consider it an important part of your civic education. Not many people get first-hand experience with courts, lawyers, and lawsuits at your age.
I don't want that kind of experience. I want fun.
I bet you had plenty of fun in Hawaii, for the first part of your trip anyway. And with that, I have nothing more to say to you. Goodbye, Alyssa.
Hey, wait, you can't do this to me!
That evening, Jacob and Alyssa got into a massive argument about, well, just about everything. It got so bad that the neighbors ended up calling the police because they thought there was a domestic fight going on. This was too much for our landlord to deal with, so he immediately started eviction procedures. As for Alyssa, her parents came into town to pick her up and took her back to live with them on their farm outside of the city. Just as they had promised me, they cut off her funding, leaving her completely incapable of paying for her college education. She dropped out, and with no other job, they forced her to do the thing she hated most of all: manual labor. Perhaps somewhere between the sweat, dust, and manure, she'll learn a lesson or two, but I'm not very hopeful. A few months later, Jacob called me and begged me to take him back. Apparently, once his parents found out about precisely why he and I got divorced, they were so furious that they disowned him as their son and wrote him out of their will. Between their extravagant Hawaiian vacation and his alimony payments to me, all of Jacob's savings have vanished into thin air. And since all of his friends had abandoned him as well, there was no one else that he could turn to but me. Unfortunately for him, I was already seeing someone else, so I turned him down. Don't get me wrong, though, I wouldn't have taken him back even if I was single. As soon as I told him that, his end of the call went completely silent for a few seconds, followed by the sounds of him crying at the top of his lungs. I hung up the phone to let him sort out his emotional issues by himself. With him out of my life, I have found peace for the first time in as long as I can remember.
Sam, are you really going to be staying with your father after all of this is over with? What? What do you want now out of all times? You're annoying me. If I were to go with you, the housewife, then I'd be left to a life of misery and no money. I can tell you, you don't know how to support yourself on your own, so there is no way you'll be able to care for me too. I want to make it all the way to college and be able to get a master's at some point. And before then, when I start going to high school, I want to be able to wear the nicest clothing and go out to really fancy cafes with all of my popular friends. I am also wanting to get myself one of the coolest men in the school to become my boyfriend, and with that, a lot of money too. So after thinking about all the things I want, I decided that I'd be going with Dad and his really cute and young girlfriend. She happens to run her own bar even, so she has to have a lot of money as well. And she told me that if I allow her to marry Dad, she's going to give me an allowance of $500 a month. That's a way better deal than whatever a useless woman like you could do for me. So those are your reasons for wanting to go with your father after this divorce? Well, of course. Also, I had been the one talking with Dad about how I wanted him to wait on getting this divorce until I had turned 15. What? Being 14 years or younger, there was a very high chance that you could get custody of me in the divorce, and neither Dad or I wanted that to happen. So I asked Dad to wait until I turned 15, so I could choose who I wanted to go with. And while you guys had been waiting, your father was cheating on me with that other girl? That's right, and I love thinking about how she'll become my cool new mom. So please stop asking me if I'm sure I want to be with her more than you. By the way, hurry up and leave us already. Starting tonight, my new mom is going to be coming to this house and will start to live here with Dad and I. Her name is Ellie, by the way. And we both don't want her to run into Dad's ex-wife on her first day here. I'd feel bad for her if that happened.
I'm leaving, Sam.
Then, make it quick. Dad already took full custody of me because that's what I wanted. So you're not even my mom anymore. Which means you can't talk to me anymore like one.
I wasn't trying to. Sam, I was just trying to help you out here. After realizing that this whole time, your grandma had been tricking you into thinking that I'm a bad person.
I listened to her because she would buy me anything I wanted if I listened. And she's a lot nicer than you.
And that's the reason why I wanted to check with you one last time before I go. I had this feeling deep down that maybe you didn't want what your grandma was telling you, and that perhaps you still wanted to be my daughter. But after this conversation, it is clear to me that you don't want me anymore. That's too bad. At least now I know that I have no longer have to worry about you, since you don't want that from me. Thank you very much. Now I feel a little bit better about all of this.
Huh?
Goodbye forever, my ex-daughter.
Congratulations on being married to my dad for a year. So you're going out with him for you guys' anniversary, right? Have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much, Curtis. I really wish you could have come along with us tonight. If it wasn't for you agreeing that your dad is getting married to me, then something like tonight would never be happening between him and I.
I really like that you want to invite me out with you both, but this is your guys' anniversary, and I don't want to be there as a third wheel.
You think you'd become a third wheel? Then, how about in a couple of days, the three of us could go out and have a casual dinner?
That would be awesome. Seriously, Mom, thank you so much for becoming my mother.
Why are you being so open with me about this?
I'm sure you want to know why a 24-year-old man like me is being so squishy right now. But my real mother passed away back when I was only 1 year old. And ever since then, my dad has been taking care of me on his own, while never even bothering to find someone else. He's been without a woman in his life for over 20 years now, and yet he finally ran into someone who opened his eyes again. And that was you. At the cafeteria in you guys' office building, right? And did you know, he came to me after the first time he laid his eyes on you, asking me for advice with women? He told me he had no clue what to do about you, and how to ask you out.
I never knew that. Something like that could really happen?
Well, considering my dad would rarely ever go to the cafeteria since he's a CEO, he sort of asked me to go and talk with you some in his place, since I'm in there almost every day. He even started asking me to come up with a plan for him to use in order to get you to go on a date.
Does that mean the idea of reserving a table closest to where I was working for the CEO to have lunch was...
That's right. And that was all my idea. I knew that by having my dad sit down close to where you had to work in the cafeteria, you would be forced to talk with him and him with you.
Curtis, wow.
We made sure to do all of this with the help of the secretary and some of my dad's closest friends there. One of them being the HR director, and we asked if it would be okay to do something like that in the hopes of getting my dad and you to talk. And he told us that he'd let it happen. Normally, it would be inappropriate for the CEO to be trying for a relationship inside the workplace, but everyone knew how lonely my dad had been and that he really needed someone. So in the end, we had everyone helping my dad out.
I found it a bit crazy that within 3 months of talking to the CEO, I was already going out on dates with him and stuff after work. Wow. You all did so much for the both of us.
Please keep the fact that I was behind all of this a secret, please.
What? I wonder if I can keep this a secret or not.
What? I'm not sure how I feel about you right now. Please don't say anything to anyone about all that, please. My dad would get very upset if he heard that I was talking again.
That's a good point. Well, it really is all because of you that your dad and I are so happy. So I suppose I will keep my mouth shut about everything you've told me today.
Please, Mom, please!
If I don't start leaving the house soon, I will miss my appointment.
What? Oh, it's already that time of day. Have a good time, Mom.
Thank you, and I'll talk to you later.
Mama, are you doing alright?
What?
This is Sam. Your daughter, Sam. Just the other day I saw you going into and sitting down at that super fancy French restaurant with another man. I was wondering what the heck was going on there, and so I started to ask around a little bit. And that's when I learned that you got married to the CEO of a tech firm. The fact that you were able to land a money bag like that at the age of 45 is amazing, Mama. I'll come back and be your cute little daughter again for you, so please give me $20,000. So, when can you and I meet?
I was wondering what you wanted to talk to me about. You really think that I just have some large amount of money like $20,000 sitting around?
Huh?
And even if I did have that kind of money on me right now, I wouldn't be giving it to some stranger for absolutely no reason. You have to have a very good reason for asking something like that, but I don't think you do.
What? I have a reason, though. A great reason, as a matter of fact. It's the best reason you're going to hear.
I doubt that.
I just told you that your daughter who you haven't seen is willing to meet you again and become your cute little girl once more, right? And for that reason, I would like you to give me $20,000. Kind of like a payment for my services to you. I'm sure as my mom, you'd be more than happy to listen to what I'm asking and give me that money, right?
5 years ago.
Huh?
You told me that you chose to have your father's girlfriend, Allie, as your new mother, right? So ever since that divorce, I have never been your mother. And there's nothing that would make me become your mother again now.
Ah, you're talking about that. Well, all of that never happened. Never. I take back everything I said to you then.
And why is that?
Because Dad and Allie ended up getting divorced. That bar I told you Allie had been running, well, she wasn't that great of a business owner, and so after only a few years it went bankrupt and she lost the bar. And that meant the $500 a month that she promised me before was no longer coming. At that point, I realized I really couldn't use her anymore. Grandma also ended up passing away last year, so the only person ever giving me money is Dad. It's not even that much each month, so I'm tired of relying on him too. That's when I found out that you found yourself at a really good ATM and now living large. Right? That's why if you give me $20,000 right now, I will come out and see you and start being your cute little daughter again. And from then on, I'll let you see me whenever you want. Heck, I'll even come out and move in with you if you'd like.
Hold on, I have to go.
Hey, don't start getting too cocky now, you little brat.
What? Mama?
I'll tell you this right now. I took her phone for a little bit, so that means you're not talking to your mom at the moment.
Then who are you?
I'm your mama's stepson, after she married my dad a year ago.
Huh? Oh, is that so? I guess it's not that strange for someone the age of that CEO to have a kid or two by now, so, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
And I am 20 years old. Which makes you my older brother then. Which is just crazy to me because I've never had any siblings before. Nice to meet you, big brother.
I told you to stop acting like such a cocky brat.
Huh? You should be treating me like a little princess right now since I'm your little sister. But you're saying that to me?
I was already told that you're not my mom's daughter. So don't even think for a second more that you were related to me in any way.
But you can't start calling a young woman a brat like that. And it's not like you and I have ever met one another yet.
Looks to me like you have no idea who I am then.
I've never met you in my life, so of course I have no idea who you are, idiot.
I'm Curtis.
What?
My name is Curtis.
Oh, wait. No freaking way. There's no way you're the Curtis who used to be working as a store manager at Allie's bar, right?
Sorry to say, but that's me. And you picked on me so much at that job that I could probably file a claim against you for verbally harassing me there. Calling me a lowlife for only being raised by a single father, and saying I had no chance in life because my mom died when I was only 1. I'm that Curtis.
Oh, wait, what the heck is going on here? You've been the son of a CEO this whole time? And right now you're the son of the CEO that my mom married?
I'm just as shocked as you are right now. I never thought that someone as kind-hearted and open-minded as Megan would have such an audacious and annoying daughter as you. Well, from what she was telling me, her twisted mother-in-law at the time had been feeding you lies about your mom and spoiling you at the same time. So I guess I can see how you turned out like such a selfish brat.
Hey! I don't care who you are to me. You're saying too much.
Well, if you don't want to hear anything else from me, then scram. Leave my mom alone and go find someone else to try leeching off of.
What? But what about $20,000 that she's going to be giving me?
And from what she said, she doesn't want to meet you ever again, so you're not getting that money.
Huh?
In other words, that $20,000 you were asking her for in exchange for meeting up with her again isn't going to do you any good.
But I need that money.
Why do you need something like $20,000 so badly?
Because I freaking needed it. Give me back to my mom right now and let me talk to her about this.
You really think that she's going to be willing to give a whiny little brat like you that kind of money?
Of course she will be. No matter what, I am still her cute little daughter after all.
You really have come all the way back to the same person you asked your dad to cheat on, and then leave so that you can get $500 per month from your dad's girlfriend to help you now? I know what you need that $20,000 for, Sam. You need it in order to help your dad pay off that settlement he's been asking for by Allie, after she found out your dad was cheating on her with another woman at that bar.
What?
I heard all about this from one of my previous coworkers who had been working there with me before.
Don't tell me you told my mom about that.
Sorry, but she knows. I started to learn about how you had been going around asking about my mom and who her husband is. Knowing that you were nothing but bad news for all of us here, I spoke with my dad about what I had learned about your dad at that bar. And he gave me the green light to tell my mom about everything that's been going on.
What the hell are you doing?
I would like to ask you that goddamn same thing. Megan has finally found herself smiling again after she was able to marry my dad and become part of my family. If you continue to pester my mom and get in the way of her relationship to my dad, I will not go easy on you. Understood?
What the hell?
There was still something I was left questioning after that day, and that was me wondering why Sam came to me out of all people asking to give her $20,000 to help her pay her dad's settlement. And well, as it turns out, that her dad ended up getting that other woman pregnant while he was cheating on Allie. And all of his family cut ties to him for that. And that means there is nobody left for Sam to rely on now, either for help. Both her and her dad are working tirelessly every single day in order to get that money so that the settlement can be paid off. And my goodness, that must suck. I do feel a little bad that she has to go through all of that instead of going to college, but I'm not going to help her any. Luckily, both my husband and my stepson have agreed with me in saying I was right to not give her any money, and that she needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions, and one way or another. I have been asked plenty of times since then why I didn't help her out when she is my blood-related daughter, and to this day I tell them that she is not my family, and that has left me wondering, what is the true meaning of family? Do you always have to call somebody related to you by blood family, or can you cut them out of your life and truly view them as a stranger? I'm not going to think too deeply into all of that, as I'm not sure there is a single good answer to that, and instead, I'm going back to my current loving family. The family that treats me with the same respect that I treat them with. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.